Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of From Grateful to Greatness. I am your host, Mario Kaleo, and every episode begins with me, of course, being grateful. So, I'm grateful for my wife, my family, my friends, everybody who follows me on social media, all of you for taking the time to watch these videos, and God and the universe for allowing your boy another day on this planet to talk to you. So, seeing as how it's coming to the end of World Mental Health Week, I've been saving a specific story to tell for these videos, and it's a very candid, very honest story. It's something I've never told anybody except a few close friends and my wife. But because I've always been so honest with you guys, I want to share this story with you because I think it can help you, and I think it will show you what I will be saying probably more than once, which is you're not alone. You're so not alone. So I have been dealing with depression and anxiety for as long as I can remember. I was bullied. I was sexually abused as a kid. And I dealt with, feelings of insecurity and wanting to be accepted by people and going to ridiculous lengths to gain that acceptance. And it made me develop this people-pleasing personality where I try to make sure everybody likes me and everybody's happy. And if I find out somebody doesn't like me, it would drive me insane, and I would go to crazy measures to try to make them like me. And this story is the basis of that. This story comes from that because it happened maybe 3 years ago, and a certain event happened where something I did was not, didn't go over too well with everybody I knew. And bottom line was the insecurity and anxiety over people being upset with me consumed me more than it ever had in my life. Now, I had suicidal thoughts when I was younger, but I never acted on them, never harmed myself, anything like that. But this time, when this happened, and at this point in my life, the people-pleasing shit was at its highest it had ever been. My anxiety was like on fucking 20, It consumed me to the point that I was driving, I was crying, and I had this thought that maybe it would be better if I were dead. Maybe it would be better if I were gone. Maybe all these people will be happier without me around. And for the first time in all my life, I seriously considered going through with it. When that happened, I was terrified. I thought to myself, oh my God, I need to go see somebody. I need to go right now. So I drove myself to a hospital, checked myself into an ER, didn't tell anybody, didn't tell my future wife. She was my girlfriend at the time. None of my friends, none of my family. And here I am at the hospital, checking myself into an ER by myself, freaking out. They lay me on a table. The doctors are talking to me, asking me questions, yada, yada, yada. And they determine that I need to stay there for observation. And I gotta tell you guys, the reality of the situation hit me at that point. I started thinking about everybody that I was letting down. Not only that, I realized that, dude, you're in here right now because you cannot control your feelings and your emotions. You're not in here because somebody forced you to be. You're not in here because of anything real. You're in here right now because you invented all this stuff, and it drove you to the point of checking yourself into this ER because you were afraid of what you would do to yourself. When that hit me, I freaked out, and I actually convinced the doctors that I was okay, and they actually let me go. I'm not sure if I would have let me go, but they did. And I was let go, and from that day on, a lot of new thoughts really hit me. The main thought was all the people that would be devastated if I was gone. And not only that, my purpose, my destiny would be destroyed. Whatever it is that I was meant to do here, it would be destroyed. The other big thought was all the people that would be left behind after I was gone would only be left with sadness and questions. None of those questions would get answered because I'd be gone. That really hit me, and it really made me realize that it was now, at this point in time, that if I didn't do something to change this, if I didn't seek out some kind of help or method of fixing this issue, of getting rid of this need to make everybody like me, to make everybody comfortable with me, to make everybody, be okay with all my decisions. If I didn't get rid of this need to do that, it would eventually kill me. So the next few years after that, I had invested so much money and time and energy into watching videos, reading books, meditating, learning to practice gratitude, and all that saved my life. But it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have the revelation that all the people that would be hurt because of it, how much I would be throwing away, and the fact that, like I said in the beginning of the video, I wasn't alone. I was not alone. And as I started posting more and more real stuff about my life, my journey, who I was and who I am, I started to learn the truth of that there were so many other people out there who went through these kind of dark thoughts. And I started to learn the real truth behind it all. These thoughts are just lies. And they're trying to convince us that we're not worthy or we don't deserve to be here. And they're just lies. And although your struggle may be unique to you, the thoughts of sadness and anger and the need for acceptance, the doubts, that's something that is shared by many. And in that, we find some solace, man. We find some fucking peace. We find a little bit of comfort to know that although what we're going through might be unique to us, there are a ton of people out there who are understanding and sympathetic of that struggle. And I wanted to make this video today because I wanted to let you guys know, if you're having those kind of thoughts, it isn't only you that's going to suffer. And that's not, I'm not a life coach. I'm not a guru. I'm not any, qualified psychiatrist. I don't know all the answers, but I do know that there is at least one person out there, at least one, that loves you to death, and they would be devastated by your absence. And that right there has to be your why to keep going. But not only that, the destiny that you were given when you were put on this planet. It has absolutely nothing to do with those dark feelings and emotions. It has something much greater to do with everything, why you're here. So I just wanted to say that today, guys. This was very hard for me to do this video, but I felt like it had to be done. And I just want you guys to know you're not alone. Please, if this message hit home, share it. And remember, all you need is a start and some heart. Peace.